Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing polygels, but I'm going to show you how to save money. All right, let's get started. So the initial phase of doing any type of nail enhancement is always the same. You wash your hands, you wash your client's hands, and then you buff away the shine. So here I'm just using a hand file to file away all of the shine that was on her nails. Once all of the shine is completely gone, I'm just going in with a cuticle bit and just making sure that all her cuticles are clean, removed, and that there's no shine or dead skin left that will cause the nails to lift. Once you've completed your filing, you want to use some alcohol and a lint-free towel to just remove all that dust and dead skin to prevent lifting. The next thing you want to do is size your client's fingernails with the poppets or the dual forms, whatever you call them, they are the same thing. So when you size your client's nail, what you want to look for is that the dual form fits from sidewall to sidewall. There are no gaps on either side, and it's not so big that it's spilling over onto the client's finger. So if you have to try different ones on each finger and you feel like it's taking a long time, it's better that you do it and do it right in the beginning than to have a nail that does not look good in the end. Once you've sized every finger with a dual form, then you further clean the nail. You can use isopropyl alcohol for this step. I'm using a Prep and Dehydrate by ASP. I got it right from Sally's Beauty, and if I remember correctly, it was under $10. So, like I said before, you can definitely use isopropyl alcohol. The point of this ASP brand is to dehydrate, but also to clean the nail. I go back and do this 2 times. So I put a very thin layer on each finger, and then I go back and I do it again. Once the Prep and Dehydrate has fully dried, I use my Mia Secret Nail Primer. It is a non-acid primer. It works great. I got it on Amazon, and I believe it was about $6, but don't quote me on that. I do a very thin layer of this on each finger, and I try not to get it on the cuticles or on the skin. It is non-acid, so it doesn't burn, but you never know if the person might have an allergy to it. So I really try to stay away from the cuticles and skin. Just like the Prep and Dehydrate, I go on each finger, and then once it's dried, I do a second layer. All right, time for the fun. Oh my God, I love doing gels. I was addicted to doing acrylics for a long time, but the filing process took forever. The soak off process took forever. It just, oh my God, I just needed a change. So I switched to gels and I love it. Right now, I'm using a soak off rubber base gel. It is what I'm using for my base coat, but you can use any base coat gel that you have at your house. Don't go buy anything extra. The difference between a rubber base and a regular base gel is that the rubber base is very thick. So if you was to use a regular gel polish, it's thin. It holds very well, but it's just thin. And if you put it down on the nail, it has a tendency to run. The rubber-based gels, once you put it on the nail, it does not flood the cuticles, it does not move, it has more of a tendency to stay wherever you put it. And that's what I like about it, because it gives me a chance to work with the other fingers without me worrying about if this is going to run into her cuticles or on the sidewalls and things like that. So right here, you just see me putting a very thin layer on each nail, and this is going to act as my base layer. Once you've applied a thin layer to all the nails, then you're going to put it in your UV LED lamp and let it cure for 60 seconds. While that's in the lamp curing, I go ahead and put a thin layer of base gel on her other hand. Once the gel from both hands have fully cured, go ahead and set up for your polygel application. You need a small glass with isopropyl alcohol, a gel brush of some sort, and of course your polygel. Let me tell you, I know it looks like this polygel is just oozing out that tube, but I am really putting a lot of force behind squeezing it out. It was so hard to push out of that tube. It was crazy. All right, so now I'm just patting it into the dual form, making sure that I have enough to fill the entire space and length of her nail. And then I place it on her nail, as you can see here, and make sure that it still fits snugly. What I'm doing now is just cleaning around the side walls with alcohol. Not much of the polygel oozed out the side, but I just wanted to make sure that if anything did come out the sides, that I got it cleaned up right away before it cured. On the back side of her nail, I just made sure that it was smooth, because once you're out of the lamp and the nail has fully cured, it's going to take a lot of work to get it smooth. So you want to do all of that ahead of time. I'm just going around the side walls again, scraping anything that might have oozed out, making sure that it is perfect before I put it in the lamp. It just looks so pretty. Oh my God, already. I let that cure for 60 seconds while I prep the next nail. So it is thick. This stuff is super thick. I was really putting some force into that. Really putting force trying to smooth it out into the dual form, making sure that there were no air bubbles and no pockets or gaps. So the same thing that I did to the other nail is what I'm doing here, making sure that it fits, and if anything spills out the sidewalls, cleaning it up before I put it in the lamp. All right, so now that that finger is cured, we're just gonna go through and do the exact same thing for the rest of the nails. I went ahead and sped this clip up because I figured by now you got the hang of it. It's just repetition. So put the polygel in the dual form, put it on the nail, make sure you clean up the edges, flip the finger over, smooth out the backside, and then pop it in the lamp. Look how I have to use two hands to squeeze it out. It's so thick. Once you get it and try it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is super thick and sticky. I know that I heard a lot of other YouTubers describe it as very thick, but until you actually try it yourself, you have no idea. All right, this is the last finger on this hand. By now, you've watched this video, you should be a pro. So same exact thing. These poppets or dual forms just make it so easy to create a nail. I mean, you didn't have to buy any nails or nail glue. Just throw the polygel in this dual form, put it on her hand, stick it in the lamp, done. I love it. All right, so here she's taken her hand out of the lamp because they've cured, flipped it over palm side up, and she's curing the underside of her nails. I had her do this for about 30 seconds just to make sure it was fully cured from top to bottom. Oh my goodness, this part is so satisfying. Just watch. Oh my God, they just come off so easy. Oh my God, it is so satisfying to watch that. Literally, I'm gonna rewind this and just watch that part again and again. All right, so nothing new here. We're just going to file. I prefer a square shape. Like if these were my nails, I'd have them square. But Andrea wanted more of a coffin shape. I don't really know how to do coffins that well, so she's gonna just get what I can give her. Um, Main thing is to make sure that it's even on each side and that the client is happy. So it may not be coffin to someone else, but I was satisfied with it and she was happy as well. So I guess that's all that counts. After all the nails are filed, you just want to go ahead and check the cuticles one more good time. Make sure that there's no gel that seeped on it by accident or anything like that. So I have a cuticle pusher and I'm just pushing back the cuticles, making sure that there's no dried product on her cuticles or sidewalls or anything. So that's all that I'm doing here. They look so freaking pretty. All right, now I'm just filing the surface. I know they look gorgeous and shiny, and you're probably like, what the heck are you doing? I know, but there is a method to my madness. Now, at this step, most people will go in with a second layer of polygel to thicken up the nail and give it strength. But remember in the beginning of the video when I said I was going to show you how to save money, right? Well, this is the step that I save money. I went ahead and cleaned the nail off with that same prep and dehydrate as before. You can use alcohol, it doesn't matter. Then I'm taking this same base gel that I used in the beginning and I'm putting a thin coat of that base gel on all her nails. I'm using this and some acrylic instead of more polygel. So I'm just going to put a very, very thin layer on each nail. Then I'm going to use a spoon to apply some acrylic on each nail, and that is going to give you the same effect as polygel. Remember, polygel is just gel and acrylic mixed. So instead of using your expensive polygel to add a second layer, you're just going to use your same cheapo brand of base coat. You already have it laying around. And it's very easy to get, it's very accessible, and it's cheap. So you're just going to use your cheap base gel and you're going to use some cheap acrylic. This is a secret for this size container. I know it was less than $10 and you get so much. So you're just going to base the nails with that gel polish and then put a scoop of acrylic on each nail. Now from this angle and the flash from the camera, it looks like I overdid it with the acrylic, but I could tell you from the angle that I was sitting at and the light that I had from my angle, it did not look this bad. I promise you. But yeah, just make sure you don't OD on the acrylic powder. You go ahead and let that cure for a full 60 seconds while you work on the other hand, and voila, all done. Now, I absolutely love this pink color. Had it been my nails, I would have left it as is, but my niece wanted to be a little bit extra, and this is the color and design that she picked out. So, of course, you got to do what your customer wants. It's not about you. And in the end, she was super happy, and so was I for having her let me practice on her. Thanks for watching, guys.